All right, cool. We are now live. We are now live.
Boom.
So today in the Legacy Lounge, we are joined with Johnny Perez. Johnny is a warrior of faith, a voice for the people, and a living example that purpose rise from pain. This is going to be about heart. This is going to be about purpose. This is going to be about healing. And this is going to be about legacy. You know me, I'm always about legacy. And Johnny has been one of the people to just, man, voice of the people. Like every time this man speaks, it's complete fire. It's complete fire. So I wanted to just bring him on and feel free to, if you're watching live, comment, drop some comments, drop some questions for Johnny. And we're just going to kick it off like that. Also, we got Jazz here, Jazz in the house.
Let's go, Jazz. Let's go, Jazz.
All right. So, the first thing is going to be about the veteran resource advocates. You know, because I was talking to a guy earlier today, actually, and he was talking about his disability rating and just like the help that he feels like he wasn't able to receive. And then we started getting on about values and principles. So, like, how has your values shaped your approach to helping veterans and entrepreneurship on this journey?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. And first of all, Tino, I appreciate you having me on. This is great. I know this has been a long time coming. We kind of talked about this for a while, and some things have always kind of taken place. And also, I appreciate the introduction because I'll tell you what, I always make the joke. I was like, man, if I have speakers all over my house and my family can hear how great I am, like it would be awesome. You know what I'm saying? They're like, do you hear what they say about Dad? You know, you see how great I am? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, you know, and honestly, it's quite simple. Just like most of us, just like what you're doing in this show, you're really creating, and you said it, the legacy portion of it. And we have to take the knowledge that we learn and the experiences that we go through. And it's worthless unless we share it. It's worthless unless we teach it. It's worthless unless we apply it and more importantly, pass it on to the next generation, right? So with this approach, especially on the veteran side of things, I treated it like I was sending one of my brothers through it. Or I treated it as if I was sending one of my sisters through it, because the experience that we all have, it's different for many people. Some people get through it with the breeze, but for the majority of the time, the VA system is not designed to benefit and it's kind of crazy because that's what it's there for, but it's not really designed to benefit the system in the way that it's shaped. It's not really designed to have the veteran go through it with ease. There's a saying, and I always say this, and it's pretty terrible, but I want to just acknowledge, and again, I also want to say that the VA is getting better. However, this saying it stands for a reason, but it says the VA gives veterans an opportunity, a second chance to die for their country, basically. It's terrible. It's terrible because, and I say this very bluntly, because if you've ever gone to a VA hospital and you walk up and down the halls of a VA hospital and you realize and see and witness what the heck is going on, it'll make you feel what we feel, right? And again, I'm just trying to be an advocate for something bigger, something better, because there are a lot of veterans that have been either shut down, that have been told that they don't deserve the rating that they deserve. They've been told that, oh, you're not going to get more than this. I've had veterans say, you know, they've been embarrassed because of the claims that they're trying to file. And some of these are extremely personal. Some of these have been extremely traumatic, and they're afraid to communicate it even further because they don't want to be shunned, or they don't want to be put on this spotlight saying that, no, that's not wrong with you, or oh, hey, just be normal, just be normal. So again, the values and the principles that I take is like I'm sending my own family through the system, and I want everybody to feel the same way as we go through it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know, because you got a big heart for family, especially you were saying earlier, if your family could hear you speaking, and then all the great things that people say about you. So, like,
for sure.
As a husband and as a father, you know, how do you integrate like your family legacy in your business decisions and like in your everyday decisions?
Yeah, you know that for me, that's pretty simple. And I break it down. I've been married for a long time. I got married at 18. I've been coming up on our 17-year anniversary here in August. Yeah, which I appreciate that, which is not very common.
Right.
You know, I've got an incredible wife. I met her through MySpace way back when we got together when we were 15 years old. So imagine that, right? But to answer your question simply is this. I'm just trying to build something like I hope you are, like I know you are, Tino, and same thing with you, Jazz, that I just want to build something that my kids can say that they're proud of, right? And say, yeah, that's my dad. My dad did it. You know, because there's a lot of things out there that, you know, we sacrifice, you know, our values and our honor because we want the money, and we want the fame, and we want this, and there's a lot of that happening. But listen, I don't care how long it takes. Obviously, we want it to be as quick as possible, but you know, I just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. And they always say that, you know, fast success builds ego, slow success builds character. And I hope that through the examples and the challenges that they see me go through and the adversities that they see me go through, that they want to take that on and hopefully inspires them to, maybe if it's not in the same industry, they're not in the same platform, but to something that they're most passionate about in their own regard.
Hey, you said you just dropped a huge nugget there. So smooth and so casual. Like, I think we got to go back and unpack that a little bit. You
For
said
sure, man.
fast success builds ego and slow success builds character.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like break that down. Like give like an example of that.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of crazy too, right? And I'm sure we've all experienced it in some way, shape, or form. But even we'll talk about the finance game for a little bit. You know, there's occurrences where most of the time, it takes somebody quite a bit of time to get to the results that they want, right? And obviously, we're always raising the bar. We're always trying to do more, and you know, we got to be, you know, blissfully dissatisfied. But the reality is everything that you go through, everything that's demanded of you, all the challenges, all the adversities are supposed to happen the way that they need to happen in order for you to become the person you have to become in order to obtain what you're wanting, right? And I've seen many times where somebody comes in, they see success super fast, and then it gets to their head, and they don't really realize the effort, the sacrifice, the grind, the up and downs, the failures, and it really puts into perspective, like, hey, like I should kind of be humble with all of it. But the ones that it built, oh, you know, I made $1 million in my first 6 months, and look at me, and I'm hot stuff, and this and that. Again, you could read it, you can feel it, you can see it. So that's kind of really what I dive more into is don't put a time on the process, because it'll happen when it happens. Don't be results driven. Be goal driven. Be timeline driven in the sense of like, okay, I need to hit this goal by this time, this goal by this. Like, this is my first focus. Like, hit those points first. Don't be, you know, yes, start with the end in mind. That's great, but it is important that you give yourself that appropriate grace in order for you to get to where you need to go, because really you've never been there before. So that's kind of, I know that's a lot there, but it is important to realize that every adversity, every challenge that you go through is required. It's exactly what needs to happen. Exactly.
Yeah. Because I think it was you that I remember making a mental note, but I think I got this from you where you were talking about like there are years where nothing happens, and then there are days where decades happen.
Yes, I did say that. That's crazy. That's crazy. You remember that? Yeah, and that's exactly it. And I'm sure, like, obviously, Tino, you've experienced it, and Jazz, I'm sure you can say the same thing. But you know, imagine and look at your life. Examine your life. Anything that's great in your life, anything you ever obtained, anything you've ever had, required a great amount of work and a great amount of effort and sacrifice, and it felt better. And it's crazy because the pain that you go through, it sucks. It's terrible, and you wish it wasn't there. But as soon as you get what you need to get, as soon as you obtain the goal or hit the goal that you've been, you know, honing in on, all the pain you forget goes right out the window. Now you remember it, right? But you realize it was a necessary part of the process. And you know, I'll use this as an example. My cousin Chase. A lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people know this or not, but he won American Idol. And I use this example because it's a great analogy, or a great example. But he won American Idol like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. He's a country singer, big time. He's out there touring, all this stuff. And it's funny because what they saw was him on American Idol. That's what they saw. Like, he's just a great singer, super talented, all this stuff. But what they don't realize is he's had a guitar in his hand since he was like 3, right? So going from 3, fast forward to the age that he's at now, and now he's seeing all the success, it's pretty impactful. So for him, it took him, I would say, an overnight success, 10 years in the making, right? And until you get to that 10-year mark, then you really know what it's like, and you could really feel the effort and sacrifice that it was required in order for you to get there.
I know one of the things that has been more, I would say, more clear in my life now is like this aspect of faith. And I know you always speak about faith, Jazz speaks about faith, but how has that really like shaped and informed like your mindset, your mission, your legacy, just overall in life?
Man, yeah. I would be lying if I told you I didn't ever question it, right? Like man, I go to church and I believe in God and I'm faithful and I read my Bible every day. But as soon as something happens, you have that inner voice that says, like, holy smokes, I don't know if this is going to work, right? But it has everything to do with what you're going through. You know, they say that sometimes big faith doesn't require you to make big moves. It just requires you to stay a little bit longer, to keep pushing, to keep fighting.
Man, that's gold.
You know, because it's true, and we kind of lean, and it says it in the Bible too, right? Lean not on your own understanding. But a lot of times we do, like, oh, maybe this is a sign for me to stop. Well, maybe it's a sign to show you that you're doing the right thing. But either way, let's keep going. Everything's going to work out the way that it needs to work out. But without a doubt, and I've said this to a few others, and like I said, I've been kind of moving on low profile lately, but you know, the year of 2024 was probably one of the hardest years of my entire life, like no joke. And there was things that had taken place and some things that had switched around, and just a lot of craziness that, no joke, was like, could collapse anybody. I'm talking from a financial perspective. I'm talking from a mental perspective. I'm talking about from a physical standpoint. Like, this show, I hope, again, is to be real. Like, you see all the stuff out there. You see Jazz, you guys, right? Like, you see all these people living the greatest life, but don't. And I had made a video about this before, talking about like highlight reels. Like, we always highlight our reels, like our high levels of our life, but don't neglect the fact that we have to go through a lot of lows to get there. So I believe that in order for you to get to that next step, in order for you to get to that next level, it does require an abundance of faith, almost like an insane amount of faith where, again, no one else knows what you're going through, but you're like, you know what? If God is with me, who could be against me, right? And that's really the push that we're trying to make. And I'm sure both of you guys would agree, yes, with all the stuff that you've gone through.
Yeah. One of the things I appreciate about you, Johnny, is just like that level of transparency and vulnerability that you have. Because again, you know, you're saying like a lot of times we only do see the highlights. So what is important to me sometimes is like, okay, tell me about like a challenge that you had to push and overcome to get to the highlight. You know, not just focusing on that highlight, because I know there was a challenge before there. And so those stories are the things that really like fuel and inspire me. So I appreciate you for just having that.
Yeah, man.
I wanted to ask, hearing the things you're saying, you know, about your family, wanting to leave a legacy for them, and, you know, how people feel coming into the VA office, hospital. I wanted to know, like, why you do what you do. If I was a veteran coming to you saying, I need your services, I know you can help me, but I don't feel as if I'm good enough for this help, or that you really can do anything for me, what would you say?
That's a powerful question. And I would say that it reminds me of a story or a video. Well, technically it was a story, and I'm a big story guy, because, you know, I feel like it just puts a different perspective into things. And I hope I don't you know, mess it up here, but ultimately there's a veteran in a hole, or soldier in a hole. or whichever veteran, doesn't matter. We'll say veteran for this case, and he's in a hole and a big hole, and he can't get out. And you got people coming down, putting their hand out. They're like, hey, like grab my hand, grab my hand. He's like, I can't reach it. You're too far. It's too much. And you have another veteran walking by, and he looks down at the hole and he jumps in the hole. And the other veteran looks at him and says, like, what the heck are you doing, man? Now we're both stuck here. And he says, don't worry, bro. I've been here before. And pulls him out. So that correlates to why I do what I do, because I've been there. And I've always met in some circumstance or another, somebody who's had it better or somebody who's had it worse. Even in our situation, someone's always going to have it worse or someone's always going to have it better. And that's okay. But the reality is, if we can come to a level playing field and understand each other, and I think that's what's wrong with a lot of the world today too. First of all, we need our own focus, our own accountability of things, but we're always trying to it's a lot. It's a mess. So to go back to your question, I do what I do because I've been there. I do what I do because it sucks. And if I can find a way, not necessarily to shortcut, because I don't like the word shortcut, but to expedite the process from going from A to B to C, then that's really where it matters. And it goes to even all of us. I mean, if we want to learn how to run a computer business and you had an opportunity to speak to anybody, hey, let's talk to Bill Gates or let's talk to whoever, or I want to learn about space and landing on Mars. Who would you talk to? We talk to Elon. The reason why, again, is because you learn from the people who have been there. You learn from the people who have done it, and you're just shortening the window. Instead of it taking me or you or Tino 15, 20 years, it's now going to take us a year, right? And that's why, going back to, we got to be careful about that quick success, because you always got to remember where you come from, and you got to obviously leverage and learn from your mentors and leaders and things of that nature. So, yeah, I do it because I've been there, and it's not good, and it sucks. It sucks.
I love that. A lot of what you're saying is reminding me, I guess, the underlying theme of you are learning things for other people. You're going through things for other people. So make sure that you're giving it to those other people. And if
Absolutely.
you can be there, be there. Keep your head down, keep working, keep pushing. There's
Yes.
things bigger than you. Yeah.
And you know what's crazy on that point, and I'm sure all of you can agree to this, the hardest thing for me, especially when I started, because I started in the finance space, I've been in wealth strategy for 10 plus years now. The hardest thing for me to realize or for me to accept is trying to help those who didn't want it.
Yes.
That was so hard. I'm like, hey, save for retirement. Hey, you say you hate your job, grab my hand, let's go. I'll take you to the promised land. And they're like, nah, I'm good. You're like, what? You know what I mean? And it's just, and I had some, it's crazy. It's so crazy because, and then like 6 months later, they're like, hey man, times are tough. Can I borrow some money? And I'm like, hey, listen, I can't let you borrow money, but I can give you an opportunity. Like, let's go. They're like, no, I'm not looking for an opportunity. I'm looking for money. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's, and especially the people that you really, truly care about. Like, I'm like, man, I will take care of you. We will win. We will win. I have the utmost faith and confidence that we are going to take on the world. And they're like, nah. I'm like, what? It's wild. It's wild.
I haven't gotten 6 months down where they're coming back finally, but I'm asking questions like, what's going on? Where are you? And they're telling me I have nothing figured out. Basically, I have no life insurance. This is my only job, my only income. So if something happens that I don't foresee, what are we going to do? And I'm like, Here's a new opportunity. Here's this account. You can put your money in this market. No, I think I'm good for now. Okay. Yes. And then Tino actually said something that really stuck in my head, and it has been helping me for how I speak to people and realizing it's about how you're talking to them, how you're appealing to them. For how, like, 100 plus years ago, when Henry Ford was making the cars, and if he were to go, I think he was an interview that he did or something like that. He was saying if he were to go out and ask the people what they need when they were having problems with the horse and buggy, they would have said, we need better horses, but he brought them a car. And what is this? I've never seen this. And that's what we're doing here. And it's like, okay, keep that in mind and understand I'm giving you solutions for the problems you either already have or don't even know that you have. So you can't recognize this as the solution that you need because it hasn't been a solution you need to recognize yet.
Correct. And the fact, I mean, that brings up an even bigger point of why it's important to have mentors, to have people in your life
Right.
that can elevate your thinking, because
Right.
your mind can only think in the parameter of which it operates in, or the reality of what it
Right.
operates in. And if you have somebody else who thinks bigger, who sees bigger, then you need to listen. And for those who don't, I call them, and I'm going to spell it because I don't want it to be misinterpreted, but I call them an askhole. ASKHOLE, where you ask how to do things, and you ask how to win, and ask for, hey, I'm trying to be better and do bigger things and all this, and then you don't do it. Like, what? It makes no sense.
I've realized from my own experience doing that, I'm surrounded myself by people who aren't either already where I want to go, or they're not thinking that that's where they want to go. So we're all right here together instead of thinking up here. And when I do find that person and ask, and I don't move because you're not my peer group and I don't know what I'm doing and I don't think that I can, or something like that, versus let me actually surround myself with people who are in that space and can actually show me, be those examples and whatnot that I need to know I can do it. All the things that you've been saying this whole time. If you're not already in that mindset, then I'm not going to feel as if I can move forward because I'm in that mindset with you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Love it. So good.
Yeah. One of the things I would say on that note is, we all have those people, maybe friends, family, where we give them advice and they don't take it, and then they come back to you with the same problems. My mindset is like, as long as we have new problems, as long as it's not the same problem over and over. If we have, you can keep coming to ask me questions, but as long as it's a new problem, because then it's like, okay, we're making progress. But if we're having the same issues and challenges that we had last year or the year before that or the year before that, that's when I just go, okay.
The definition of insanity.
Yeah, exactly. Man, dropping. Johnny, what does the normal day look like for you?
Oh man, listen, it's a little wild, bro. Yeah. So I've got my wife, my 3 daughters. Right now, summer is a little summer kind of throws the schedule off a little bit, but up early, working out, doing my thing. Obviously appointments, working on my veteran resource advocate business. But during the summer, I've always made it a priority to be with my girls, to be present as a father. I'll give you an example. My dad, he wasn't there, not in the sense that he was never around, but he was always working. I respect him for it. He's one of the hardest working men I've and he taught me a lot. And he couldn't be home because he had to be the supporter. Unfortunately, my mom and dad split, and now he had to work extra hard. So there's just a lot happening. So I told myself, and again, I'm grateful for both, for my mother, my father. They're fantastic people, incredible grandparents. Thank goodness. But one of the things that I always promised myself that is I will be involved with my kids, and not the overbearing, weird type, but I want to be present because, again, having daughters, and funny joke, but I'm like, I wanted sons. I mean, what kind of guy doesn't want sons? I want sons, right? And God's like, nope, you're getting daughters. But it's funny. I was a little off topic, sidetracked, but I was at a doctor's appointment, and the nurse came up to me, and he, he's telling me, hey, you have kids? I'm like, yeah, I got 3 daughters. I wanted all sons. He says, you know why sometimes guys get daughters instead of sons? I'm like, why? He's like, because the girls need good dads. And I was like, oh, don't make me feel bad, bro. Like, you're going to give me a shot, now you're going to make me feel bad. What's going on over here? But yeah, basketball games. I just got back from Indiana not too long ago. We were at my daughter's basketball tournament. My middle daughter, that's my oldest, Jillian. My middle daughter, Mila, she sings. She's an incredible singer, so there's a lot of that, training with that. And my youngest, she's like a little dancer, trying to figure all that out. But yeah, in between that, obviously, time with my wife, time in the business, gym time, mental time, all of it. And Thursdays I'm doing men's groups, and Sundays church. I serve at I lead the team at the parking lot team at my church, which is pretty awesome. In Arizona, imagine that, right? 115-degree weather out there in the street. Listen, we out there in the streets for God. You know what I'm saying? We out there making it happen. I tell everybody, listen, I may not remember your names, but I remember what you drive. You better come correct when you come to this parking lot. And I'll even say this, another analogy. So, I was responsible for leading the team and all that. And I've never led a parking lot team. I'm like, how hard could it be? It's a parking lot. But man, let me tell you this, bro. Like there's signs, and the reason why I'm bringing this up, there's a point to this, but there is signs. It says entrance only and exit only. And I'm like, why are people still driving in through the exit? I'm like, you're going to get signs in your life clear as day that say, hey, go for it. Hey, do this, make it happen. And you're like, nah, I'm not going to do it. Right. And I think that leads to another point of just when we talk about success, we talk about life, we talk about everything in a bucket. The most successful people that I know, they take, or even if you want to earn that title and earn that ability to say, man, like I've created some success, is when you can take an idea and move it into action quickly. The quicker you can connect those two dots and advance forward on that, the better off you'll be in obtaining said success. So yeah, I went like 3 or 4 different directions there, but hopefully it all made sense. I'm shooting from the hip. You know what I'm saying? Tino's like, you want to go live? You want to record this and post it? Like,
Yeah.
Baby, let's go live, baby. Let's go live. You know what I mean?
So that brings me to this. What is something that people don't see that you feel is really crucial and critical to your success and to your journey?
The everyday conversations I have with myself. The work that nobody sees, right? That's important. The sacrifices that are being made that sometimes require me to lose a little. Those are big parts of it. I mean, everything. I believe that our time is so precious, and so, dude, I'm 35, and statistically speaking, I'm like halfway through my life. I think about that for a second. Like I'm halfway through. I'm 50% done with my life. And hopefully I live to 120. That's my goal. So if we're all 120, we're going to be living it up. As long as I'm healthy and I'm not like bed bound and all that. If I'm bed bound, just take me out. I'm done, right? But if I'm like walking and I'm doing my thing and I still got a brain, I want to live as long as I can. But it's just everything matters. You know, how you do anything is how you do everything. And it's true. And if you really start to audit your life and audit your habits, and it's hard because I'll give you an example. One of the things in my men's group we talked about was fasting. We have to fast from something. And what I fasted from was the kind of like random scrolling. Like I admit it. Like sometimes I scroll. Sometimes I'm, it's been a long day and I'm just that same morning that what we said that we were going to commit to, I picked up my phone like 14 or 15 times to go there. And I'm like, oh my God. It's just, again, self-analyzation, realizing all like what's contributing to your life and what's taking away from your life. And I believe for everyone, this applies to everyone, that distractions right now are at an all-time high. Distractions in social media, distractions in the world. I mean, this world is such a hot mess, and they're doing exactly what needs to get done. They're keeping everybody distracted and focusing on things that don't even matter to them. It has no application in their life whatsoever, but they are so invested in it. It drives me crazy. I'm like, if you were to take an ounce of that effort that you're taking to put into this and to like be up to date with whatever the Kardashians are doing and whatever, and don't get me wrong, that show's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? My wife watches it. She loves it. It's great. But I'm saying, like, imagine if you put in that much effort into your own stuff, what kind of results would you get? Right. And it's just crazy. There's a lot, but man, I don't know, Tino. I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, Jazz, I know you got something to do, got to run. Anything you want to say before you dip?
Yeah, to date, Johnny, what's the best, most valuable piece of advice from anybody that you've gotten to date?
Oh man, that's a good one. That's a good one. I've got two. Well, I wouldn't even say it's, and I heard it before, and it just really put it into perspective. But the first one I would say is just keep going. That's the first thing. And I know that's kind of vague, but it's true. You just man, something. Oh, I lost my job today. Okay, keep going. Oh man, I'm living paycheck to paycheck right now. Okay, well just keep going. Right. Oh man, I'm sick and I haven't been able to, do or my weight loss journey, whatever. Okay, it doesn't matter. Just keep going. So that's the first thing. The second thing is when people say it's not that easy. It is. It's something that gets communicated to you I would say this, it's something that gets communicated to you by non-believers, by people who have tried, who have failed because they quit. Like, oh, you can't do that. It's not that easy. It is. Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to make an extra $1,000 a month, right? Obviously, we're all part of universal wealth too, so that's a big thing. So, okay, you do. If you want to do it, let's do it. Well, it's not that easy. Why do you say that? Like you're already putting limiting beliefs on yourself. Right. You're already setting that pace, and you don't even know what the heck's going to happen to you yet. Right. So those two things I would say. I think maybe 30 minutes from now I might have something different, but as of right now, when you ask me, that's what I'm feeling right now. Jazz, right? Right. And then listen, you're wearing that Batman shirt. Oh, I'll tell you what. That's right. It's crazy. Somebody had asked me one time. They're like, Natalie asked me that. She's like, if you could be any superhero, who would you be? And I said Batman, right? And I love Superman, but I said Batman. I was like, because he does good for people and he doesn't seek the credit for it because he wears the mask. So, yes. and our goal should always be not necessarily, oh, I want to be the king, I want to be the queen. Our goal should be, we want to be the king and queen makers. We want to go out there to inspire, to influence. I want to be responsible for the next 10 people that change the world. And then if at one point in time, all they say is, hey, Johnny changed my life a little bit, or Johnny added value to my life, I've done my job. I've done what I'm here for. So hopefully that helps. I don't know.
It does. Love it. Thank you. Well, I will say real quick for me, Batman is my favorite superhero.
I love this.
Because of the fact that he doesn't have any powers like how Superman does, or what is her name? Diana, Superwoman. How did I get that?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he doesn't have any powers. He does what he does knowing that something could happen to him. He can't fly. He can't, go through a wall, but, anything like that. And that's how I feel here and in other places, like you're saying, do it anyway. Like, I don't have superpowers. I don't have this. I don't have that. I can keep the kryptonite in my belt, but keep going, keep doing this, keep doing that. And you don't know who's coming up behind you. You don't know who you're meant to influence. You don't know who's going to see your story and blow up bigger than you may have because they saw you and they fed off of you, or they got to talk to you and they fed off of you being their mentor.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And listen, and even on that, you bring up a great point. And it's being relatable. Right. I like Batman because Batman is like me.
Right.
I can do it. Exactly. So listen, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to do, right? We are ordinary people trying to live extraordinary lives. And if we can make it and we can go out there, you can do it too.
Right.
That's it. So listen, that's a great answer. I'll tell you what. I love that, Jazz. Fire me up. Don't get me going. I got 3 fans going on. I'm a sweater, but today I'm good right now because I got 3 fans.
Like, okay, I'm good. I'm ready for it today. That's proactive. I love it.
Hey, so Johnny, let me ask you this, because I know going off of that with Batman, one of the things that Batman had to really, let's just say, detach or unlearn was fear. How to be fearless. So like what was something that you had to unlearn or detach yourself, or even like kill off an old version of you to become this version of you now?
Yeah. I always had this problem growing up where I was really hard on myself. I doubted myself a lot. I got angry about some of the choices that I made, and I harbored that. I always felt that if I obtained any type of success, that something would happen and I would lose it. So I would say, even from a simpler perspective, eliminating or putting in check your limiting beliefs, and a way to unlearn that, or a way to, I don't want to say get rid of it, because it's always there. It always lingers, right? I heard something one time many years ago. It said the successful people can do 2 things, or lock in on 2 things, and it's running and reading. And running, the reason why running is a big thing to do is because when you're running, especially for a long period of time, or you're working out for a long period of time, and that little voice in your head starts to tell you, like, hey, you're tired, slow down, lighten up the run, lessen the weight. That is a great way to identify that there is a voice in your head. So when you're doing you can't really hear it when you're doing your day-to-day activities, but when you're pushing yourself to the limit in any activity, that voice starts to come up, and it's your opportunity and your job to quiet that voice or to put that voice in check. And the second thing is the reading element, because we as human beings, we go through and have problems, and we oftentimes feel like our problems are our own special kind of problem.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been a book that hasn't been written about all the problems that you're dealing with. If you're dealing with something, there's a book that's been written about it, more than likely, right? Like, oh, hey, you want to learn how to talk to people? I'm sure in this bookshelf somewhere, which there is, I think it's this one right there. It's How to Win Friends and Influence People, right? So there's like any problem you have, pick up a book, watch a video. But again, going back, it's the limiting beliefs, man. We have a DNA that's been implanted in us from our parents, from our friends, from our family, from our environment, that we have to disconnect and re-download a new program, which is the one that's going to require you to work every single day at it.
Yeah. You said that voice doesn't come through the day-to-day stuff, but I think it does, because I was washing dishes last night, and there was like one last pot, and I was like, I could leave this for later. But then that voice was like, oh, you're done. You already wiped down all the counters, mopped the floor, the kitchen is clean. What's this one pot? And then the other voice came and said, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Yes.
See this through to the end. And I was just like, all right, here we go.
But see, even with that, it required, like, dude, like, you didn't just learn how to identify that. And that's what I'm saying. It's amplified on a much higher level when you go through and you are intentional about learning yourself. Think about how many people right now are on cruise control and autopilot. I mean, we've got what,
Yes.
1 million thoughts a day, 40,000 thoughts a day, whatever that number is. And we are so subconsciously unaware of what the heck is happening. So when you can amplify, I mean, think about it. You've already fine-tuned it doing dishes. And trust me, you are not alone there, sir. I contemplate looking, when I do the dishes, the same thing. I'm like, well, that pot's got a little extra grease. Let me just soak this one in dish one. I'll come back to it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like everything like that, everything. And it's wild, but it's so true. And it happens every single day. I agree. It's just, if you could learn to listen to that, or like identify that, no, that's not the right one, and turn that down and do what you're supposed to do, then everything else gets put in its place.
That's good. So
I'm gonna jump in real quick. I have to go get my child from school, so it was.
Oh, that's important.
Get myself jumping off, and I was supposed to get off 20 minutes ago. I have to go now. So it was great talking with you more today. I'm happy that we were able to do this together.
Yes.
And I hope that you both have a great rest of your day, and I'll be talking to y'all soon.
All right, Jazz. Great to meet you. We'll talk to you soon.
You as well.
All right. So one of the things that I did recently, Johnny, was I was able to sponsor an anime event in my city, and I was looking and reflecting on that, and I was like, oh man, this is something that the childhood version of me would have been just like so shocked and so surprised and just able to do that. And so it was a proud moment for me. So like, if your younger self could see you now, like, what do you think that they would be proud of, or surprised or shocked that you're doing?
Man, you're coming up some good questions, bro. Listen, you start making me tear up right now. I remember for my birthday one time when I was, God, I don't know if I was like 5 or 6, something like that. The only reason why I remember it is because my mom had recorded it way back when. But one of the party hosts or whatever that came to do the event at the moment, he'd asked me, he said, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And without even a second to think about it, I said, I want to be rich. Right. And at the time, if at the time, it was more than money. It was rich in everything, because my understanding and my belief of what rich was to do whatever you wanted, whenever you wanted, with whoever you wanted. So as I look at my life now, not that I'm at where I want to be, but it's obviously a continuous progress, right? Again, it's just being grateful of where you're at and all that good stuff. But looking at it now, and man, you're running businesses, and you got a great family. They're doing their thing in sports, and we got real estate and all this stuff. So, but even more importantly, being able to influence and inspire people, even in my own community, the conversations that I've had with people, even here in my home, and having an opportunity to open the doors and have a conversation and talk to somebody about knowing their worth and realizing that they are a giant, even though they see themselves this small. So that connection there, especially now, or when every time I talk to somebody, or every time I get an opportunity to do this, it really puts it into perspective of what I wanted when I was a kid. Because honestly, you're just rich in life, man. Time, health, wealth, all of it. So, that's probably one of my wow moments, if you will. But yeah, it's a great question.
Man, that's cool.
Hey,
cool.
Listen, hey, anime, like you like the K-pop stuff too, or what?
No, I dabbled in the K-pop. I'm not deep into it, but anime has been something that has been like in my life since I was a kid. I remember seeing like Voltron for the first time and being
That's
like,
right. That's awesome, dude. Well, it's crazy because my daughters, my middle one specifically, she loves the K-pop stuff. And there's a show on Netflix, movie on Netflix called The K-pop Hunters. Bro, I'm like, I was never, I'm like, it's your thing, whatever. But let me tell you something. I watched it. I'm like, bro, this movie is great, dude. Like the music was well written. The animations were legit. I'm like, it's just, it was awesome. It was awesome. So it's just kind of crazy that, that you say that, because it's unique, but it's you, man. It's what you love and what you're passionate about too, as well. So that's great, bro.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's been an amazing journey, and I know it's not the end. Every day feels like it's always just like it's just the beginning.
For sure. And let me ask you this too, man. I know, like, we're talking about all my stuff and all that, man, but and I'm sure you've been asked this before many times, but like, why do you do this? Why are you, out here, and you could be doing other things and talking to a whole bunch of people, but obviously it's a sacrifice on your part to get this stuff scheduled, to make sure it goes out, ask the right questions. Go like, what are you doing it for?
Yeah. So for me, it comes back to family and foundation. Like growing up, I was always trying to piece together like my family, like who is this person, who is that person, why is this person in our lives, why is this person not in our lives. Oh, okay,
I'm still here.
no,
I'm listening to you.
yeah, so piecing all of that together, but then also thinking about like, okay, what is something that kind of connect everything. And I realized a lot of the troubles and traumas I can relate back to finances. And so then it was just like, okay, well, if I could fix this thing, then I will have enough resources to go and find the people to fill in these missing pieces, and then try to piece together my family, which internally I was really trying to piece together myself, figure out myself. And then on this journey, it was like, oh, I'm thinking I'm adding more pieces to the family when really I was adding more pieces to myself. So
Crazy.
to make that a little bit clear, I didn't know my grandfather growing up. Like my mother's father, I didn't know him. Things happened in her life growing up, which caused him to be completely outside of my life. Didn't know he even existed or anything. But it wasn't until maybe 2019, so like 5-6 years ago, where I got to meet him for the first time. Marine, Hall of Fame martial artist, grandmaster, and just one of the most creative people that I've ever known. I didn't realize that a lot of my creativity, a lot of my, you know, looking at different cultures, especially like the Asian culture, Japan and stuff, a lot of that came from him. So it's like
Crazy.
a nature versus nurture thing, but it wasn't nurture because I didn't know this man existed. But as soon as we met, everything
Connection.
just clicked. And I was like, oh, okay, this is where I get this from and that
That's
from. And
wild.
then
Wild.
seeing how the influence on my brother, and just like again, my grandpa's like a mix between my brother and I, and we didn't even know it. So that's the reason why I do this. That's why legacy is so important to me, because it's not just the money, but what are you passing down? What are you leaving in people? For example, like again, I didn't know this person all my life, met him. He's probably the most influential man in my life, just the years of knowledge and wisdom. And one of the things that he taught me, I didn't even know, because I grew up doing martial arts too, but I didn't know, again, that came from him. But one of the things he told me is like, when you're training, when you're practicing, when you're doing anything, have absolute focus, be present, be completely locked in. And there were moments where I'm just like, where did I get this from? Goes back to
That's
that. So,
fantastic. That's great.
yeah, so I'm super glad and super fortunate that, just this journey of like trying to piece together my family and figure out like more of my backstory ended up like putting myself together, and then now using those things to then help other people. So it's a journey. It's an amazing blessing to me.
So where do you see yourself with this? Like with this show? How far are we going with it? What do we take? Like who we interviewing? The next big people. What are we doing over here?
Yeah. So one of the things is it can. I know, like from a marketing standpoint, they're like, hey, if you're talking to everybody, then you're talking to nobody. But what I would say to that is this: you don't have to be in the history books to leave a great legacy. You don't have to be like George Washington, everybody knew him, or you're not going to be on Mount Rushmore. There are people in your life every day that have made an impact. Like how you said, even if you were the person who started the next 10 great influencers on their journey, people may not know you. But through these conversations, through giving people a chance to put a spotlight on them and share their story, is so much wisdom that can just be. I don't know who it's going to impact, but I know it's going to impact somebody. If not, it's definitely going to impact me. So with that, I see this as far as the podcast, anybody doing something great in their lives, or if they're on their journey to success, whatever success means to them, then it can always inspire and give hope and encouragement to another person. Or maybe it may be a piece of a puzzle, a little bit of knowledge that you need, like even you helping the veterans. So many veterans out there don't know which way to go. So if we can, at the very least, just be a lighthouse or a beacon and just pull people out of darkness.
Fact. I love it, dude. Fire me up. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Yeah. Listen, that's why we connect too. You know what I mean? The energy's there. The connection is there because and when you get a lot of people in that same space, and the magnetic effect it has to attract even more, and that's how changes are made, man. But it's important that we are constantly out there looking for the ones that connect with us the most. You know what I mean? And have that, because that's a big thing too, man. With all the craziness happening, we want to make sure that these people are good. Not to say that people make mistakes, but man, you gotta. It's tough. It's tough. We need some warriors out there, especially today's world, bro. We need some manly men, bro. We need some fighters, man. We need some fighters. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you never know. You never know the major ripple effect that what you're doing is gonna have. That's why I'm always saying, like, be intentional about what you're doing, because I was having a conversation yesterday, and this was somebody who the last time I was in person with them was years ago, maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago. but it was something that they did. They didn't know that they were having such a major impact on me. And literally all they did was cook breakfast. Like if you look at it on the surface, all they did was cook breakfast. But it was about how they did it and the environment that they created while doing it have had an impact on me. And then when somebody came up to me and was like, Tino, I just enjoyed the way you got everybody together and you fed them. And I thought back like, hey, I was given a compliment. And so I reached out to that person. I was like, I got to give you this compliment, pay it forward, pay it backward, whatever. Because like, again, I didn't realize just you making breakfast, how it impacted me and how it impacted somebody else.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I love it. And it's I say this too, even in that realm, we all come from different backgrounds, different ethnicities, different cultures, but we all speak one language, and that language is emotion. And if we can communicate it on a level where we can connect on that element of things, bro, I mean, dude, listen, the cooking breakfast. First of all, if anybody's cooking breakfast for me, they already got my attention. That's what I'm doing because I love to eat. So, but dude, there is a thing to it, man. It's just, but I think that's great. And even like as we wrap this up, the word for it, just intentional, and that could be that needs to be, I believe, the word for everybody. Because everyone is living so unintentional. Everybody is living, and I don't know if that's the opposite word of intentional. Is that right? Unintentional? Not intentional. I don't know, whatever the word is, but what I would tell you is there is no intention on whatever it is that they're doing. There's no purpose behind it. And when people don't have purpose, everything dies. Everything dies. So let us shine light on everyone and remind everybody that we must move with intention. We must speak with intention. We must act with intention, because otherwise, what's the purpose?
So I know, with especially tying that to legacy, I tell all of my clients, I'm like, whether you know it or not, we are all going to leave a legacy. It's, are you going to leave one with intention, or are you going to leave one by accidents, circumstance, happenstance? So, just be intentional and live life on purpose. Again, it's not all about the money. The money is important, but it's not all about the money, but it's about how are you living your life and what are you leaving in people.
Fact.
That is the key thing.
I love it, bro. Listen.
Yeah, man. So anything you want to leave with the people? We talked about a lot. You talk about the veteran resource advocates, talk about where they can find you. If they just want some inspiration, motivation, a dose of discipline, whatever.
Yeah, man. Well, obviously on all the socials, Johnny Perez or Johnny Perez Official on my Instagram. But anything requiring or anything needing help with veteran resource or veteran benefits via disability benefits, veteranresourceadvocates.com. Don't get mad at me for the long website name. That was the domain main name that was available, so I had to go with it, right? But veteranresources.com or veteranresourceadvocates.com. Yeah, man, I'm grateful to be on the show and have an opportunity to communicate. And I think it's all important that we realize that, we're all building a survival guide for somebody else to pick up and read. And somebody's waiting to hear our story. And that everyone that is listening, your story matters. Your story is important. Now it's up to you on whether or not you're going to pump through those chapters and finish your story and finish writing your story. But more importantly, is it intentional enough to where somebody can pick it up and say, man, this is the truth right here. This is where I need to be. So, but yeah, again, excited to be on here, man. I was grateful for the opportunity, and I appreciate you connecting, brother.
You definitely got to do it again. And
yes.
So with that snap! Hold on, I forgot. This is one of my favorite things. At the end of the episode, what I usually do is I grab this deck of cards with questions on it, and I just thumb through it, and you tell me when to stop. I'll pull out that card, and that's the question I'll ask.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Ready. Stop.
Okay.
Hey, are those the Think Big? Was it the Think Big cards or what? I think what are those deck of cards? What are they called?
So I got two. One is called Substance, and the other one is called Tails.
Dude, it's so crazy. I'll have to send you a picture of the one because I've got something similar like that. But yeah, it's like a list of questions. It's super deep. But all right, let me see. What do you got for me? What do you got for me?
So this is, how would you spend your last day on Earth?
Oh my gosh, Tino, dude,
Yo,
man, that's such a great question. I'd want to be at home. Listen, I'm Hispanic, but I love tacos. But I want to be eating tacos, right? And everybody who I love and care about, and everybody who believed in me, I'd want there. And just talk. Just talk. I don't know, man. I think, and as the night ended, I would say just being with my girls and my wife, and that's it.
yeah,
simple. Listen, I'm not a complex guy. I'm not trying to go all crazy places. Just being at home with the ones I love, man. That's most important to me.
Hey, it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day, man.
It's a beautiful day, man. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, I appreciate you so much again. Thank you so much for having me, my man.
Yeah, thank you. And with that, hey, y'all go follow Johnny. I hit him up, send him messages, send him love, ask him questions. He has a great mindset. Again, great work ethic, great on the motivation, discipline, inspiration, whatever you need. Especially if you're a veteran, definitely hit him up. Make sure that you get all of what you deserve. And with that, we are out. Bye bye.